Time now for Pro Football Fast Break, the show that brings you unfiltered, unapologetic, opinionated, pure pro football talk. Now let's go to the guys with this week's show.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pro Football Fast Break show number 107. Hey, this wraps up our three-part series on NFL free agency. This one's a little bit different. It's the latest on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. We take you back. We give you the entire saga from the darkness retreat to out of the darkness into the light and everything in between. So let's get this thing kicked off. All right, so the big story that everyone's been talking about this week, it's everywhere. Aaron Rodgers emerged from the darkness, and there's a whole story there. Needless to say, it was a very interesting interview on Pat McAfee. He laid it out. He's got a lot of critics, too. He straightened out what everyone has been saying, that he was demanding all these things to be on the Jets and that he was the problem, and he straightened all that out.
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers went into the darkness with a 90% thinking he was going to retire. He came out.
What did the darkness
and realized,
show him?
No, well, he came. Nothing about that really. But he came out and realized that the way that the Packers were speaking to him, that they clearly wanted to move on, and that's not. And at first, it was, "We'll do whatever you want." They came out. Their owner, their GM or whoever, came out and said, "If we get what we want, he won't be our quarterback next year."
Right.
They said that
while he was in darkness.
They said that, yeah. And he had comes out and a bunch of teammates are texting him. They're trying to trade you. They're shopping you around. So he was going to retire. Then the Jets really wanted to meet with him, so he met with them in California and liked what he heard. And no one knew what was going on this whole time. People thought douchebag Rodgers f***ing over the Packers and Jets, can't sign anyone because he can't make a decision. Nope, he made his decision. Aaron Rodgers wants to and is going to play for the New York Jets, and all that needs to be done is that the Packers need to f***ing accept whatever the Jets offer them to make it go through.
And we should say, to back up for those who maybe don't follow it as closely, the darkness we're referring to, he went into a darkness retreat where he just isolated himself in complete darkness.
To achieve the
for 4 nights straight.
For 4 nights.
Yes. He started having crazy hallucinations
Tripping.
on the third night.
Yeah.
So being in the dark, like what?
Well, there's a whole thing like in Stranger Things, if you've watched it, like the cryogenic, I don't even know the word, but something chamber, and usually you're in water in complete darkness, and like that'll make you faster. Just like you just start tripping. I know he was like in a little room. I saw like a picture of
day
what
3.
He was in.
It's known that around the third day you start having insane like DMT type hallucinations.
Yeah, that's
like
what they say.
What? From nothing.
Yeah.
It's your brain on its own doing it.
Yeah, no substance added, nothing.
No drugs.
Yeah.
At all.
So 90% he went in thinking, I'm going to retire, but I want to sort of think this over. He came out.
It's like the Michael Jordan thing. The Packers put a chip on his shoulder.
It was, he may have he didn't really say if he had changed his mind, but based on the news that he heard and the attitude of the Packers, he changed his mind.
Yeah, he wants to win a Super Bowl with the Jets to say, all of you, basically.
And my first thinking was, this is stupid. Brett Favre, it's not going to work. And then I started thinking, wait a minute. The Jets are stacked.
The Jets are stacked, and this dude won back-to-back MVPs one season before this one.
Yeah, he's not washed up, so it's not he's
washed up.
This guy that stinks. He's got the talent.
I mean, if the Jets play the Bills in the playoffs, it's not a Bills easy win.
No.
With Rodgers.
It's weird.
Rodgers, like, with every other team in the entire league, you say, we're playing Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen in this playoff game, unless you have Tom Brady or Rodgers on your team. Brady's gone, and Rodgers is on that team.
It seems closer to the Tampa experiment with Brady than really the Favre
except, guess what?
experiment.
I think we can all agree that, I mean, I don't know, Brady had the best season of his career with Tampa, 55 touchdowns and shit, but Rodgers is better than Brady right now. At the time that Brady went to Tampa, at 42 or 43,
yeah,
Rodgers at 39 is better, no question, more talented.
So before we write it off as a joke, it could easily work.
Rodgers on the Jets throwing to Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, Sauce Gardner's on the defense.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams is on the defense. He's got a good O-line. Breece Hall is a fucking animal. And Breece Hall would have been the rookie of the year if he didn't get hurt.
But instead, Garrett Wilson
won rookie of the year.
So they're stacked.
Sauce Gardner won defensive rookie of the year.
And they're young as shit. They're like you're saying, they're rookies.
And Nathaniel Hackett was his offensive coordinator in Green Bay and will be his offensive coordinator on the Jets.
So he's got his OC. Robert Saleh, the head coach, seems to be people like him.
And his boy Lazard is there. So
Lazard.
I mean,
I'm sure they'll end up signing Randall Cobb.
Yeah, they talked about that.
Rodgers was saying there's only one person in the league that I want to play with at receiver. That's Devontae Adams.
He wouldn't say it, but
everyone knew. But that would be Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. That's not going to happen, though.
He just went to the Raiders.
Yeah. I like them more than the Bills. Better run game.
Jets. Yeah.
I mean, Jets. I like them more than the Bills.
Well, and that division...
That might be my pick for the Super Bowl in the AFC.
That division is weird because it's got the Bills. It's got Miami.
That puts New England as the worst in the division. No matter what they do. They can't do shit. You have Mac Jones. These teams have Tyreek, Jalen... The Dolphins have Tyreek, Jalen Ramsey, Waddle, fucking Xavier Howard, all these dudes. The Bills have Josh Allen, and the Jets would have Aaron Rodgers. There's nothing New England can do to be the best. They could try and do better than Miami with just their defense and coaching.
And the Jets, as it sits, forget about the history of the terrible history of the Jets. As they sit, they're better than Green Bay. Like they're staffed up better than Green Bay.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Tom Brady made everybody forget that the Bucs weren't ever shit. Like the Buccaneers weren't like a good franchise, and then Tom Brady got there and they won.
They won one Super Bowl.
They became what in people's eyes like a good franchise.
They also did win the Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin as the defense.
They did. But the Bucs, at least in the recent past,
before we were born, probably.
Yeah, yeah. At least in my lifetime, the Bucs haven't kind of been like one of those easy ass teams.
Wait, that was with what's his name as the coach, Gruden. Dungy. They forced Dungy out. It was Gruden. It was
2003, so I was alive. Oh yeah, it was Gruden.
Yeah,
they won.
Okay, well,
they beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl 48-21.
So the controversy was they threw out. Tony Dungy had built the team and got it to that point. Gruden came in and got a Super Bowl the next year.
They got rid of Dungy and Tomlin.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like
Tomlin probably just took a head coach job.
Yeah,
they had stacked that team. They built that. Dungy did it.
Oh, Tomlin got that ring and then took a head coach job the very next season, right?
And got a ring a year after.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. But I mean, okay, so they were good. Like,
and then went to another Super Bowl.
They were good 10 years ago.
Then they went downhill.
Then
completely.
In my lifetime, like when I was watching football, the Bucs were like kind of a shit ass team always.
Yeah.
And then
they won a Super Bowl in 2003 and then have been horrible since until Brady came.
My point being that the Jets. My point being the Jets is like they could turn into this insane.
The Jets
super
are even
team.
worse than Tampa. History wise.
They had Joe Namath in that era.
Like, what, the 60s? Is that literally the 60s?
Yes.
Were you even?
So that has to be the 60s.
1969. I was 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last time the Jets were good. 1969.
Yeah.
They're the only team with more consecutive current losing seasons than the Falcons.
Man, that'd be so cool if Rodgers went there and made them.
I mean, I don't want him in the AFC, but since he's going to, that's the team I would want to win it besides the Steelers.
And Namath said that Rodgers could wear his number 12.
Yeah.
That's retired. Yep. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's more. It's more about Aaron Rodgers right after this.
It's Pro Football Fast Break. The guys will be right back.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630.
This is Pro Football Fast Break.
And we're back on Pro Football Fast Break. And we just don't stop. The Aaron Rodgers talk continues. So, hey, let's keep it going. In this weird case, kind of makes sense for Rodgers.
I mean, yeah, Ben did not
makes
have
sense for Rodgers.
Yeah, Ben
Sure.
didn't play his last 3 seasons like with this super weird, weird whole thing.
Jordan Love, they drafted.
Yeah.
It all started with Jordan Love.
Yeah, and also Ben was nowhere even close to as good as Rodgers is when he was 30.
When he was old, yeah, that is very true.
But I mean,
retired at
39-year-old Ben is fucking horrible compared to 39.
He can't even move,
It's
though.
actually crazy how different it
It
is.
just Ben's physical
Weird.
just went way down. Like his ability to just even move. Just
But then
like,
prime Ben is like the same as prime Rodgers.
That's right.
pretty much.
exactly. Yeah.
well, this whole thing started with Jordan Love. When they drafted and didn't get him a receiver, that's when the wheels came off.
It started with that, yeah, and they wouldn't take his input and shit, either,
Yeah.
which is
The Packers they're a great dynasty, but they're like weird, you know.
That got
But
weird, that's for sure.
They've had 2 top 6 quarterbacks of all time,
Or
back to back.
Bart Starr, yeah.
Well, like between Favre and Rodgers, they won 2 rings, and that was like a 30-year thing.
And then prior, they had the history of before the Super Bowls.
Yeah, but that was they won
We're going way back.
That was like the damn 50s.
Yeah, there are two other rings that aren't with Favre and him are the first Super Bowl and like the 3rd Super Bowl
Bart
ever.
Starr is like the first good quarterback. Like, I don't even know who's older than him that's good. He played a while ago, had to be.
1965 to 67.
Okay.
Led his team to victories in 2 Super Bowls. So they've had
Starr?
3 great quarterbacks.
Bart Starr won that Super Bowl with like 13 teams total in the league, and it was the first Super Bowl and the 3rd Super Bowl. So
Said he won
that
3
out.
consecutive championships too, so he must have done that before
well, that
the
was
Super
before
Bowls
the Super
existed.
Bowl, yeah.
So this guy was really
yeah,
good.
that's when there were 8 teams.
But
Yeah.
as Rodgers
Well, that's
mentioned,
why. It's
you
like-
you can argue whether who's the best of the 3, but you can't argue who's played the longest. It's Rodgers.
Yeah. And we can argue Rodgers is by far the best quarterback in Packers history because he's top 3 ever.
Right.
Yeah.
And those other guys aren't top 5 ever.
No.
So there's no
mean,
argument for
As good
that.
as Favre
It's
was.
just too long to even like put someone like Bart
As good as
Starr in
Favre
the
was, he's not as good as Rodgers. Ben was
Right.
better than Favre. Manning's better than Favre. Brady's better than Favre.
Yeah.
Rodgers is better than
Favre was good.
Breeze might have been better than Favre.
I mean, I loved Favre. He was cool as hell to watch, you know, but
Yeah.
but Rodgers
Now
is
he's
better.
got one.
Now he's suing Pat McAfee for defamation. So
Is he? Favre is.
it's not going to work. Yeah, it's a joke. It's because of the welfare
that
or whatever.
whole-
Oh, I think I saw something about that. Yeah.
They just talked about it, and McAfee said allegedly and everything, so he actually can't get in trouble. But Brett Favre is suing Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee,
Wow.
2 former NFL players, for defamation of character.
What the
Jeez.
hell?
No, it's a complete joke.
Why do you
McAfee
pick
was saying
the
how
2
like
former NFL guys?
he's had like hundreds of lawyers like contact him saying how there's literally no case at all there, and
Yeah.
if you just pull back the video, it was mainly other people saying the shit on McAfee's
Yeah.
show, and they said allegedly every single time.
Yeah, and
And it's true. Every other fucking news thing
Yeah.
reported it. It's hilarious though because now this guy on McAfee who's a Packers fan, was saying how like Brett Favre, like his last season, the Packers was throwing a ton of picks, and then McAfee was like, allegedly, I don't need them in court saying, McAfee, what do you consider a ton of picks?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I just what he said it. We said allegedly.
So now you can't say someone sucks that you can't give your opinion.
It's a joke.
I guess it's different if you were saying that someone did some illegal shit that they didn't do.
The Aaron Rodgers thing is fascinating, and it makes for good content.
He's become my favorite player in the entire league, not on the Steelers, not in Derrick Henry.
I'm almost in a weird way just like so over it, even though it's more juicy than ever, but it's like, I don't know. It's just like Jesus Christ, dude. Can we just get this done?
But like he beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl, and he's my favorite player, not on the Steelers.
He was
not named Derrick Henry.
Irritating. It's been irritating every year when he flirts with, retirement. But
and now we know it's not even him.
This year was more interesting.
Stupid.
Yeah. And I mean, he is, I'm sure, a drama, his tension and all that. But he is what he is. I mean,
like also the media attacks him like Joe, they do Joe Rogan, Donald Trump, everyone. That's why I watch him instead of I'd never watch ESPN and shit.
No.
McAfee says the truth and what he wants. He's got no agenda, and he gets Aaron Rodgers and people like that to come on.
It's such a good show.
Well, he gets Rodgers for that reason, pretty much.
I watch it every day.
because Rodgers like actually respects.
Pac-Man Jones has been on there for the past 2 weeks.
That's cool.
I was thinking about it, like that show is so good. It's gonna it's gonna end up beating TV.
Dude, he's commentating the damn SEC championship in college football all season long on ESPN2. He got his own Manning show, basically.
He's got bets going on March Madness while he's talking to yesterday. He was talking about the Kennesaw Owls. KSU. Yeah, because they won a March Madness, or they were in
I
March
watched
Madness.
it, Jacob.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like a 2-point game, and they were winning. They were beating like Xavier, which is like a repeat March Madness, like 8 Sweet 16, like in there every year, and they barely
score
lost
for 8 minutes straight.
Yeah, it all kind of fell apart at the end, but they were playing really good at first.
Yeah, no, McAfee's by far the best sports content.
Yeah. And he just has like the podcast format, like
Yeah, JJ Watt. So AJ Hawk.
Oh yeah,
champion from
the guy
Packers.
that
He's like co-host with McAfee.
Yeah,
but he just calls in on a Zoom call, and he's like,
he smokes the cigars. The weird big face looks like a football player.
But so they called him in, like he was coming in, and then JJ Watt shows up on the screen instead, and they were like, "What the?" Freaking out. It was JJ Watt. But they just get like Hopkins was just on there because Pac-Man Jones told him to come on. Like players come on to tell news now because like media.
Yeah. It's way cooler.
I don't mind. But
did you hear about that? It was Rodgers.
Lose my number.
He told Ian Rappaport, lose my number.
Oh,
yeah.
And the NFL channel addressed it, and they said, I don't think that's right because Ian's job is to get information, and there was a lot of misinformation. So Ian was trying to get the scoop, and he was asking for Rodgers. Why was it Rodgers?
But Rodgers has made it perfectly clear for years that he will not speak to them, and any information that they give about him is not from a reliable source.
And they
says it all the time.
And they were, quote, reporting news.
I think
Ian
I saw a
Rappaport
tweet
said he
from
was going to go into
Rappaport.
darkness on Monday and shit, and that was wrong too. Like Rodgers, oh my God, this was hilarious. All the NFL reporters were saying Rodgers is going into darkness on this random Wednesday. And McAfee was like, well, that's weird because Rodgers told me he's doing Rodgers Tuesday. and he had Ian Rappaport on. Ian Rappaport's like, I trust my source. And of course, Rodgers comes in the next day, starts shitting on them, shitting on Ian Rappaport.
He probably just told somebody wrong info.
If you're not, he did. He said he did. He told someone the wrong thing.
That's the source. It's probably just some guy
to
that
figure
Rodgers
out
tells
who's fake and who's not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rodgers said, if you're not in my inner circle, you're not going to know the truth. And that guy that told Ian Rappaport that clearly isn't in his inner circle. And McAfee's like, oh, it's having a bad day for whoever guy you're alluding to.
That's hilarious.
And that AJ Hawk knew that Rodgers was going to the Jets for a week, and every day on McAfee they would just like harass him because they knew that he knew because he's good friends with him. And
he always knows.
He never gave it up,
dude. He always
never
knows.
Even slightly gave it up.
AJ knows everything way before it happens about Rodgers and never says it until Rodgers is ready. Like it's funny, and they all
so
ask
funny.
him to say it. Like that's always happened.
He's so
with him.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
Like he's like McAfee was saying, even when they're like hanging out, like smoking a cigar and drinking, like AJ Hawk's still like, oh, I know what you guys know. That's what he says every
He
time.
always says.
Like, I never lie. I know what you guys
He
know.
literally always says. I actually believed him at first. I thought they were just like fucking with him, and then I
I know.
realized
I did too.
Yeah.
But Rogers said
Tells
that
him
he
everything.
did know for like 9 days before everyone else.
Well, dude, I saw a tweet from Rappaport that literally, like, the other day when I was, like, I kept seeing all these, like, clearly fake headlines, but, like, everyone was confused, but they literally were like, Aaron Rodgers is on the Jets. And then, like, Rappaport made a tweet that was like, the Jets are fully interested, but they're just waiting for Rodgers to say the word, which isn't true.
No.
The Jets are fully interested. Rodgers is fully interested, but
the
they're waiting
Packers.
for the Packers to make the actual trade or
They're
the
trying
actual
to get
deal.
more value out of it.
Yeah. They're probably going to try to, they better not, like
Jack.
turn the Jets off completely.
I mean,
they can't.
that would
The Jets
devastate the
have-
Jets.
I mean, the whole city. There'd probably be riots in the
Yeah.
city.
What if the shitty Packers just made sure it didn't happen for some weird, stupid reason?
They want it to happen.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're
So-
just trying to get it. They have
so
no
make it
leverage
happen.
at all.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They're mad that they can't get what the Lions got for Stafford, because obviously they should get more than that.
Maybe if they did this
Because-
3 seasons ago, they could get the leverage, but it's too,
Yeah.
they've f***ed up their chances. They got to just accept that shit and move
Yeah.
on.
Well, the problem is that Rodgers. Now we all know what's going on. The Jets want Rodgers. Rodgers wants to go to the Jets, and the Packers don't want Rodgers. So
Right.
what do you think you're going to get when the team that the Jets are sitting here like, hey, no one else is getting Rodgers but us.
Right.
We can sit here as long as they can draft. Like, if they're going to take this long, like, the Jets can just do their draft.
Yeah.
The Packers can't sign anyone. Like, they're screwed until they get rid of him. That's $60 million
Oh,
that
right.
they
They have to
don't
pay
can't
him.
use. Yeah.
Shit. Damn.
It's a really, really weird
It's
thing. It's
really
never
weird.
happened before. It's different than even Tom Brady got way more respected by his organization than Rodgers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
the entire media. That's so weird too. Like how
Well,
do
and the
these-
media, yeah.
How does sports media
He's Joe
not just
Rogan.
give Rodgers respect? It's fucking
He's
Aaron
Joe
Rodgers.
Rogan. He's Donald Trump. He's Dana White. He's one of those guys. That's
George
what's
Kittle
surprising.
went on Theo Vaughn, who, if you listen to podcasts, you probably know who Theo Vaughn is.
No
and it was
way.
a great episode, dude.
I will be
It was
watching
just
that.
about not really that much football talk, because there's nothing that crazy to talk about with Kittle, but like it was just hilarious to hear Kittle, and like they knew the same guys. They lived down the street from each other, Jacob, Theo Vaughn and George Kittle. They live in the
That's
same
hilarious.
neighborhood in Nashville. It's cool.
All right, that is going to wrap up show number 107 and this 3-parter on free agency. Stay tuned to Pro Football Fast Break. In our next show, we'll have even more free agent moves, and we're going to get you set for the draft. As always, to make a comment or suggestion, email us, profootballfastbreak@gmail.com. Hit our Twitter feed at PFBFastBreak. And you're going to see all of this in your show notes on your podcast player. Thanks for listening. As always, we have one ask. If you like what you've heard, just tell a friend. Text them, share it now on your social media. Tell them to visit our website, which is profootballfastbreak.com. And there you're going to find links to all of our past shows. Season 1, this is Season 2. And you're going to find us everywhere fine podcasts are heard. That's it for me. I'm Don saying, peace out. He's Jacob.
Peace.
And he's Tim. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Pro Football Fast Break. Be here each week as the guys bring you a fresh take from the world of pro football. Until next time.
Everyone watches more than 5 hours of television. Really? And that's not counting mobile viewing. Get Dish TV and make that time worth it. With Dish, you can get hundreds of channels, access to all kinds of sports, tons of movies, premium channels, and more. Another thing that's really cool with Dish is you can watch most of your favorite shows on your mobile device anywhere for a lot less than cable. Yes, that's right. We are asking you to watch more TV and not less TV, but make it better television with Dish this time, anytime, anywhere. So call right now and learn how easy it is to save on your television bill and get the most out of your TV viewing experience. Dial that number and I promise you we're here waiting for your call because we want to save you money and give you better television. We are Dish TV.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. 800-413-7619. That's 800-413-7619.